this video presentation, we will explore the culture of the Orang Asli in Malaysia. Specifically, we will look at several important aspects of their society, including their beliefs and values, customs and practices, lifestyle, language and communication, social structure, and their art, music, and literature. Finally, we will end the presentation with a conclusion that highlights the significance of understanding and preserving Orang Asli culture. Introduction. The term Orang Asli literally means original people in the Malay language. They are the indigenous communities of peninsular Malaysia, consisting of 18 different ethnic subgroups that are generally classified into three main groups: the Negrito, Sonoy, and Proto-Malay groups. For thousands of years, the Orang Asli have lived closely connected to the forests and natural environment. Although modernization has influenced their lives, many communities still preserve important cultural traditions and values that define their identity. Beliefs and values. First, let us look at the beliefs and values of the Orang Asli. Traditionally, many Orang Asli communities practice animism, which is the belief that spirits exist in natural elements such as forests, rivers, mountains, and animals. Nature is therefore considered sacred and must be respected and protected. They believe that every element in the environment has a spirit that can influence human life. Because of this belief, the Orang Asli often perform rituals or ceremonies to seek protection, healing, or blessings from these spirits. Respect for nature is a central value in Orang Asli culture. The forest is not only their home but also their source of food, medicine, shelter, and spiritual connection. As a result, they traditionally practice sustainable living and avoid excessive exploitation of natural resources. Another important value is community cooperation. Many Orang Asli communities emphasize sharing, mutual support, and collective decision-making. This strong sense of community helps maintain harmony and social stability within the group. Customs and practices. Next, we will explore some customs and practices of the Orang Asli. One important custom involves traditional ceremonies and rituals. These ceremonies may be performed during important events such as healing rituals, harvest celebrations, or life milestones like birth and marriage. For example, certain communities conduct ritual dances and chanting led by shamans, who are spiritual leaders believed to communicate with spirits and provide healing. Another common practice is traditional hunting and gathering. Many Orang Asli people traditionally hunt animals, fish in rivers, and gather fruits, herbs, and roots from the forest. These practices are not only economic activities but also cultural traditions passed down through generations. In addition, the Orang Asli have customs related to taboos and spiritual rules. Some forests, rivers, or animals are considered sacred, and breaking these taboos is believed to bring misfortune. These customs help regulate behavior within the community and strengthen their spiritual relationship with nature. Lifestyle. Now, let us look at the lifestyle of the Orang Asli. Traditionally, the Orang Asli live in small villages located near forests or rivers. Their houses are often built using natural materials such as bamboo, wood, and palm leaves. Their lifestyle is generally simple and closely connected to the environment. Daily activities may include farming, collecting forest products, fishing, hunting, and making handicrafts. Some communities practice shifting cultivation, also known as slash-and-burn agriculture, where small plots of land are cleared for farming and later left to regenerate. In recent decades, modernization and government development programs have changed parts of their lifestyle. Some Orang Asli now live in resettlement villages, have access to schools and healthcare, and work in modern sectors. However, many still maintain traditional knowledge about forest survival, herbal medicine, and sustainable living, which remains an important part of their cultural heritage. Language and communication. Another important aspect of Orang Asli culture is language and communication. The Orang Asli speak a variety of languages that belong mainly to the Austroasiatic and Austronesian language families. Each ethnic group often has its own distinct language or dialect. These languages are traditionally passed down through oral communication rather than written systems. Storytelling, songs, and oral histories are important ways of preserving cultural knowledge. In addition to verbal communication, nonverbal communication also plays an important role in Orang Asli culture. For example, gestures, facial expressions, and respectful behavior toward elders are important aspects of daily interaction. Today, many Orang Asli people also speak Malay, the national language of Malaysia, especially when interacting with people outside their communities. However, preserving their indigenous languages remains an important challenge as younger generations are increasingly exposed to modern languages and cultures. Social structure. Next, we will discuss the social structure of Orang Asli society. Most Orang Asli communities have a small and close-knit social structure centered around families and extended relatives. Leadership is usually held by a village head or community leader, often known as the Takbadan. This leader helps guide the community, resolve conflicts, and represent the village in dealings with external authorities. Unlike some hierarchical societies, Orang Asli communities often emphasize equality and cooperation. Decisions are commonly made through discussion and consensus rather than strict authority. Family plays a central role in their social organization. Parents, elders, and extended family members contribute to raising children and passing down cultural traditions. Elders are highly respected because they possess valuable knowledge about traditions, forest survival skills, and spiritual practices. Art, music, and literature. Finally, let us explore the art, music, and literature of the Orang Asli. Orang Asli artistic expressions are often closely connected to nature, spirituality, and daily life. In terms of art, many Orang Asli communities produce beautiful handicrafts such as woven baskets, mats, wood carvings, and beadwork. These items are made from natural materials like bamboo, rattan, and leaves. Their music often includes traditional instruments made from bamboo, wood, or natural materials. Music is commonly used during rituals, celebrations, and storytelling. Singing and rhythmic chanting are also important elements of ceremonial performances. In terms of literature, Orang Asli culture is rich in oral traditions, including myths, legends, and folk tales. These stories often explain the origins of the world, the relationship between humans and nature, or lessons about moral values. Through storytelling, knowledge and cultural identity are preserved and passed from one generation to the next. Conclusion. In conclusion, the Orang Asli are an important part of Malaysia's cultural diversity and heritage. Their beliefs and values emphasize respect for nature and spiritual harmony. Their customs and practices reflect deep traditions connected to the forest and community life. Their lifestyle demonstrates sustainable living and strong environmental knowledge. Their languages and communication styles preserve rich oral traditions, while their social structure promotes cooperation and respect for elders. Finally, their art, music, and literature express creativity and cultural identity rooted in nature and history. As modernization continues, it is important to support efforts to preserve Orang Asli culture, languages, and traditions, while also improving their access to education, healthcare, and economic opportunities. Understanding and respecting indigenous cultures like the Orang Asli helps us appreciate the diversity and heritage that make Malaysia unique.